Hey everybody, what's going on? Bard here, back with a little bit of Battleborn, and today we're going to be kind of going over the 15 minutes of uncut Arendi gameplay that I got at PAX. Sorry I haven't made this video sooner, I've been busy. So yeah, anyway, let's just go ahead and jump into it. Last video we kind of gave you the short and sweet about Battleborn. Today we're going to go a little bit in depth. So starting off, whenever you load up a mission, you're going to see you're going to start off with a couple of levels here. And these levels, it's pretty easy. You're going to be able to hit Q or E, or I believe it's left bumper, right bumper if you're using a controller, to be able to pick between a bunch of different skills. And you'll start off with, I believe you start off at level 4 or something like that, getting your ultimate somewhere around 7, I want to believe. I think other missions you might start off a little bit, you might start off at level 1 or things like that. But you level up pretty fast in this game, and this is how it's going to be every single mission. You can team up with yourself and 4 other members, giving you a 5-person party, and you can kind of go on these missions, level up quickly, and expand your character as you see fit. Now, as far as the actual missions go, we only got to play a portion of this full mission. Obviously, I don't have access to the entire game, but hopefully I'll be able to bring you all a little bit more gameplay in the coming months leading up to this game's release. A lot of people have been asking, am I excited for this game? And that answer is, I am optimistic about it. I've decided that it's probably best to just keep an open mind about everything, because writing hype is just a bad idea. Doesn't matter what the game is or how invested you are in it. You just keep an open mind with these kinds of things. I mean, I am excited for Afterbirth, but I'm going to keep an open mind. It could suck. It probably won't. Very little chance of it doing that. But, you know, I don't want to hype up something, and I've learned my lesson before people bring it up. I've learned my lesson to not hype things up, and then the game doesn't reach that level, and then I'm disappointed. So I'm just hoping that the game is not complete garbage. I'm putting my standards at Superman 64. If we manage to bypass that, it's a good game to me. All right, so there's where our standards sit. But as far as the actual game goes, I had fun with Arendi, and I got to play with a few other characters as well. There's actually a Marquis in this group here, and I actually got to play as Marquis as well as Wrath, who is the vampire swordsman. Now, I don't have gameplay for those characters, so I'm just going to go ahead and explain them a little bit. So, as Arendi is your spellcaster, casting all kinds of spells and being able to upgrade to where you can just kind of spam them. For example, I'm doing this little shadow pillar here, and eventually you'll get to the point to where you can do a shadow pillar, do another shadow pillar, jump, will do her little special spellcasting jump, and that'll reset the cooldown on your little shadow pillar thing. And basically, you'll just get to the point where you're spamming. So Arendi is, you know, your typical magic user. However, Marquis is going to be more of your standard run and gun kind of character. He's got a sniper, he's got a pistol, and he's got a slowdown. So he's very basic in terms of just, you know, well, I guess not basic. He's more of old-fashioned, which kind of fits his character. But I noticed a couple of things which I feel is going to get a little bit balanced from here until the actual release. When I was playing as Marquis, he was, you know, a tad bit boring, but I also noticed that he was also extremely deadly. In fact, he was able to one-shot a lot of the elites that I was fighting, whereas Arendi, I'd have to cast multiple spells, and, you know, that can take some time. Now, Marquis' special ability is that, you know, well, you don't know, sorry, that he can hit a character, or he can hit an enemy twice, and then the third shot, whether it's with his pistol or with his sniper rifle, will do 75% more damage. So the typical strategy with Marquis was to tap them twice with a pistol real fast, scope in, which will turn your pistol into a sniper rifle, and then you would just one-shot the enemy. And this is a little bit of balancing that I would like to hopefully see get fixed leading up. Not by, I'm not saying nerf Arendi, but or nerf Marquis, but maybe make some of the little characters a little bit stronger. The Shadow Pillar definitely was a little bit lackluster on the actual damage, so he is hoping. Although I guess Arendi is more of a AoE type spell, but maybe increase the actual size of the Shadow Pillar. But you know, those are just some of the things I noticed when I was playing the character Arendi, and hopefully we can have a little bit more balancing. Maybe increase the size, maybe increase the damage. I don't know, but Gearbox has said that they are going to be focusing on balance this time around. So that's kind of what I've been playing with. And in terms of like Marquis, Arendi, things like that, there's supposedly 35 characters that we are going to have on launch. I believe it was 35. I may be wrong on that exact number. I do apologize for that. But you're going to have a whole lot of characters. And, you know, from what I played, when I played Wrath, when I played Marquis, when I played Arendi, they all had their own unique feel to them. They didn't play the same way. Arendi can just kind of jump around. She's very nimble. You know, I can just move all around the place. Enemies had a hard time hitting me, and I was very mobile. Whereas, you know, Marquis, he's not the fastest kind of person. In fact, he was actually a little bit slow, so I had to kind of sit in the back and do my snipes, try and hit people with my pistol, then scope in for the third shot on the sniper rifle. And, you know, I like that they didn't play the same way. Whereas Wrath, you know, Arendi kind of skirts around the enemies. Wrath is more of in your face in the actual fray of the enemies, because he has vampire blades where he has to deal damage to heal himself, and he has to constantly be doing damage to something. And he's got a variety of abilities that allow him to close the gap between him and, you know, whatever he's fighting. So definitely different playstyles between the three different characters that I played. I was also playing with Mr. Elegy of Games, and he was able to play as Thorn, who is sort of a combination between Arendi and Marquis in terms of their mobility. Thorn is very skill-based in that she uses a bow and arrow, and if you can get a headshot with a bow and arrow, then you're going to deal massive damage. But, you know, getting a headshot with a bow and arrow is not as easy as, you know, using a sniper rifle, obviously. But, you know, for whatever reason, the bow is actually more effective. So, you know, a little bit more skill-based stuff I like to see, and I'm looking forward to that kind of stuff. So character balance is mostly where my concerns lie in terms of this game being good. If they can manage to keep the characters, you know, mostly balanced, we're going to be good. Obviously, in games like this, there's going to be, you know, the A list, there's going to be the B list, there's going to be the C list in terms of enemies. There's going to be some that are just complete garbage. That's just, it's going to happen. You know, I'll take games like League of Legends and Dota. There are classes that you really just don't play. They're just not that good. Which I believe this one is going to have some of them. But overall, as long as we can keep a good balance between them, I'm going to enjoy it. Now, as far as the actual gameplay of it, I didn't really get that much to... The mission that we went on was pretty standard. Obviously, they did say that they were going to have a little bit more, you know, in-depth, unique missions as we move along. But the actual mission that we went on was pretty standard. We move into a base. About halfway through, we killed a little mini-boss there. Then we have to do a little escort mission, which thankfully isn't actually that bad. If there's anything I hate in video games, it's escort missions entirely, because they are just the worst. I cannot stand them. But this one actually wasn't that bad. He moves at a pretty reasonable pace, and you can actually use these little crystals, which you can see me breaking right now. Whenever you pick those up, you can use them and spend them on a variety of different things. In fact, as you kill enemies, you're going to get these little crystals that you can spend on, if you're holding out an area, you'll see little turrets. You can use the crystals to upgrade those, so that way the turrets will actually help you kill some of the lesser enemies, and they were actually very, very beneficial, and you can use the crystals to actually upgrade them as well. For the escort guy, you could use crystals to, you could pay a small price, give him a little shield. You can give, you could double that and give him a gun, or you could double it again and give him a healing aura, which I didn't notice if it was healing him. He didn't really take too much damage, but it will heal you at a very significant rate. And you can see throughout here, you're gonna have little side paths, which are gonna have, you know, big crystals that you can destroy here, and you can pick all of those up, which are really nice. And you'll also notice that there's a little bit of a challenge in the top left. Whenever you're going through missions, you're going to have little challenges that you can try and complete and things like that. Now, as far as dying and reviving goes, you know, the actual sequence here, you get a lot of time to actually try and revive yourself or have your teammates revive you. However, one little qualm I do have is that the actual revival is a little bit slow. It does take, you know, a little bit of time to actually revive your teammates, but you know, I guess that's part of the balance side of things. Just kind of play it safe. And you'll notice as far as healing goes, you'll see those little green orbs dropping all over the place. It's really not that hard to keep yourself healed. I don't know if they're going to have increased difficulties, whereas you can run the same mission but on a harder difficulty. No note on that as to if that's going to actually be a thing here. I would assume so. This is Gearbox. Oh, actually, no. This is video gaming in general. So I would assume that, you know, you can play these on a harder difficulty. Now, as far as your actual characters outside of the game go, you will have your, you know, your chance to change up how exactly they are going to play. Now, for example, that they gave us, Oscar Mike will have the ability to not have to reload his guns. I don't know if that's actually going to stay in, but that's pretty significant when you don't have to reload your guns. So yeah, I don't know how that's going to play out, but basically you're going to have a bunch of different ways to, you know, customize the character the way you want to play it, which I'm definitely looking forward to. Now, we didn't get a chance to actually look at that during our demo, but hopefully in the next coming months I will have a little bit more information for you. Just kind of trying to go over everything that we learned at PAX, and this is mostly it. Now, you will have the ability to, that little middle slot in between the Q and E right there. Once you level up your overall character progress, you will be able to have a mutation in the middle as well. I don't know if that's going to be, I think that's in addition to, it doesn't really matter what you pick, Q or E, left or right, but you will have that middle mutation at all times for your character because you've been playing it for so long. So there is a little bit of progress in between the levels as well as during the levels. And I like that kind of progress system. That way, the more you play a character, the better you're going to get at it and things like that. So you can actually have a sense of progression with the characters instead of feeling like you're resetting at level 1 every single mission, because that would get really boring if, you know, you had nothing to show for your hours in the game. So now that we've reached the end of this escort mission, we're going to be fighting a couple waves of enemies, and then we're going to be fighting a little mini-boss as well. And then after that, I presume that we're going to be fighting a very large boss, but it cuts to a cutscene. In the earlier versions of Battleborn, there was a boss battle at the very end of a mission where it had a variety of different tactics. It called out minions and things like that. So it looks like a very, you know, standard boss fight, but it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. We don't really know yet because I don't want to talk about anything that I don't really have access to. So that is pretty much all of my thoughts on Battleborn. I hope that the character balance is there. That way they don't feel, some characters don't feel too left out. There will be some that do, unfortunately. They definitely do have their own play style. As far as whether or not I'm excited for this game, I am optimistic, as most people should be. And yeah, overall, I like the game. I want to see where it comes out. It could end up being a failure. I don't want it to, but, you know, just, like I said, keep an open mind on things, and that's pretty much everything as far as Battleborn that I know of so far. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, and you're looking forward to more Battleborn, and you've even made it this far in the video, because some people only watch 2 minutes and then they close out, leave a like button for me, because it helps me out in a tremendous way, and I do appreciate it. So here's a little mini boss that we have to end up fighting here, and it dies pretty fast. I assume that's because later on it actually just becomes a normal enemy that you're gonna have to fight. But yeah, I will be bringing you all more Battleborn actual content as soon as I get it. I don't want to just I don't want to make the same video in the same area over and over again. So I'm gonna wait till I get more gameplay before I make anything else. Well, that's going to pretty much bring this all to a close. I want to thank you for watching. Again, like I said, if you enjoyed the video, do me a favor, hit the like button. It does help me out a tremendous amount. And yeah, I'm looking forward to some Battleborn. I hope you are as well. And this guy's going to shoot a little thing. He's going to pull off a pro dodge. then he's gonna unlock the nuke. All right, well, that is Battleborn, everybody. Hope you enjoyed, and see you guys next time. Okay, bye.